Morning, everyone. It's August 23rd. I'm Christina Laurie. We are heading into another busy week in the race for the White House, and this time it's the Republicans' turn. The RNC starts tomorrow night, and here's what we know so far. The theme of this year's convention is honoring the great American story. NPR reports it will highlight everyday Americans with speeches from people who have benefited from the Trump administration's policies. Most of the RNC will be centered in Washington, including on the White House lawn. The event will still have some parts hosted from Charlotte, North Carolina, the original host city. So what else can we expect at the RNC, and what impact do political conventions really have on voters and ultimately the results of the election? Professor Michael Wagner from the UW joins us this morning to talk about those things and more. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
So I know you watched the DNC, parts of it. What do you think was the biggest takeaway for the Biden campaign? Did they do more benefit? Did they benefit more from the convention, or did they do any harm to themselves?
I don't think they did much at all in the way of harm. I think they came out of the convention showing a unity across political figures from the far left of the party and even beyond the party, like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, who's one of the more progressive Democratic senators, all the way to conservative Republicans like former Ohio Governor John Kasich. And so there was a wide array of elites showing unity for Joe Biden. And there was a wide array of regular citizens from a diverse set of backgrounds and jobs, and people looking for jobs, all talking about what they're experiencing now in the Trump administration and how they think the Biden-Harris administration would be better for them. So I think they had a good 4 days in a unique virtual environment.
Professor, it was definitely unique to have people, as you mentioned, like John Kasich, even Colin Powell, make the case on behalf of Biden. But typically, challengers have a tougher time than incumbents. I think the last time a challenger beat an incumbent president was all the way back when Reagan beat Carter. So do you think that it will have any effect come November?
Well, Bill Clinton beat George H.W. Bush in 1992 as well, and so it's not unheard of for incumbents to lose, but they often do have the advantage. We call it the incumbent advantage, I think, for a reason. And right now, we're seeing, numbers in terms of polling that certainly give an advantage to Vice President Biden. But what really matters are how the candidates are performing in a small number of swing states. And while Biden has a fairly large lead right now, I think we should expect that to narrow the closer we get to Election Day.
Okay, so let's look ahead. This week, the RNC kicks off. What will be President Trump and Vice President Pence's main job at that convention to make their case to voters?
I think they want to remind people who voted for them last time that it was worth the risk and that it was worth their vote. And so I think we'll hear from Vice President Pence, especially about some of the accomplishments of the Trump administration in terms of Supreme Court justices placed on the bench and federal court judges placed around the country in high numbers, the tax cut that was passed during the first part of the administration. And from President Trump, I think we'll hear a wide array of boasts and grievances, some true and some not, as is his wont when he communicates publicly.
The Trump campaign is still not talking about exactly what their convention will look like in terms of crowds. I know that the president typically feeds off of electric crowds. That was a big theme in 2016. Do you think that will impact his campaign at all, or how it comes across on TV?
Well, I think whether there are or aren't crowds will affect how it plays on television. And we saw that a bit in the DNC, where Barack Obama's speech was much more like a conversation, which seemed to fit the kind of platform machinery a little better. Kamala Harris had a speech that I think would have been a stem winder in front of a lot of people in an arena, but didn't quite land in the same kind of way, just given the format. And so we'll have to see how all of these different folks speaking at the RNC are able to adjust how they communicate, or whether they have crowds come in. Maybe the Trump campaign will have some people on the South White House lawn with him when he gives his speech, for example. But I think that still remains to be seen, and it's not even clear if it's fully planned out yet.
And come November, Wisconsin is expected to play a pivotal role in this election. It's going to be another battleground state. Do you think that, is there anything, what do you recommend voters who are still undecided do heading into another week of conventions?
Well, I think it's always a good idea for voters to listen to the parties give their best case for a vote for them, and that usually involves some evidence why each party and each candidate thinks the other side hasn't done a good job or isn't well prepared. It also involves the actual plans and proposals for what it is the folks would do if we gave them our vote and they ended up serving us in the White House. Not just the policy proposals, but also the process and style of governing that they would bring. And so I think these are all things to look for as we watch the RNC this week.
Professor Mike Wagner, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Good luck with your upcoming school year. It looks like you got zoomed down based on how you were able to pull things up this morning.
We'll hope the technology holds, but thank you.
Thank you so much. With the DNC almost entirely virtual this year, Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin won't see the economic benefit many had hoped for. The Cap Times reports visitors are still expected to bring in around $3 million during convention week. That's significantly less, though, than the $200 million local leaders originally anticipated. And that's why the city's mayor is hoping for a redo. Tom Barrett is pushing for a traditional convention in Milwaukee in 2024. He says he's open to hosting Democrats or Republicans in Milwaukee during the next presidential cycle. And a reminder, our political reporter, Amy Reed, will have continuing coverage of the RNC all week long. She'll be tracking the latest updates to come out of that convention and how they'll impact Wisconsin voters starting tomorrow. Now let's get a check of our Sunday forecast with meteorologist Erin White. Erin, you're standing in front of a gorgeous background.
Yeah, it's got to say really beautiful out there this morning as we have a fair amount of sunshine, just a few clouds, but a great way to start off your Sunday. And temperatures are going to actually be fairly warm as we go through today, starting off in the 60s, warming up through the 80s later on today, a high of around 86. Now there is the chance we could see a stray thunderstorm this afternoon. Very minimal chance, about 10 to 20%. So most of the area of southern Wisconsin is going to stay dry for today. But out west, there's a lot of activity. Have been a lot of fires burning across parts of California, Nevada, even into Arizona and Utah. And what's happening are these fires are producing a lot of smoke. And over the course of the next several days, all that smoke has been picked up by the upper level winds and it's actually being transported into the upper Midwest. So it's likely that we could see some hazy skies here in Wisconsin going into Monday, Tuesday, possibly even into Wednesday and Thursday. And all the dry conditions out west and all the heat, that's actually associated with an upper level ridge that's developed just really expanding, and very hot temperatures, even some record highs set across the western U.S. And that ridge is going to be building in to our area going through tomorrow into much of the work week, in fact. So we're talking about some very hot temperatures in the forecast. No record highs, but still well above average for this time of year.
Thank you so much, Erin. More local news now. Election officials in Rock County say they're expecting a big increase in the number of absentee ballots this year. They're expecting tens of thousands of absentee ballots in November, numbers they've never seen before. They say they'll need more poll workers as a result. During the election earlier this month, the county had about 130 poll workers. This November, officials hope to have 200. Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett says his city is installing more drop boxes to make it easier for voters to drop off absentee ballots this November. Other cities are taking similar steps in anticipation of high turnout. The Madison community continues to celebrate the life of Anissa Scott this weekend, the 11-year-old girl who died after being shot while riding in a car.
And let me just say on behalf of all of my staff, many of whom are here, and the entire city, how much we grieve and how much this entire community grieves.
That was Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, who along with State Representative Sheila Stubbs presented city and state proclamations to Anissa's family. Anissa died after being taken off of life support on August 13th, 2 days after she was shot. She had suffered a head injury. Her family says she was placed in a medically induced coma after surgery. And after private services, the public was allowed inside for a quick viewing. The community was able to watch the full service on a big screen outside after a unity march.
Bullets don't have a name on them. So while they're shooting, they could try to shoot their target, but they probably, you never know. You could be trying to shoot somebody and it could hit somebody else.
I just talked to my mom and my grandma and I told them like they need to take away all guns.
Before the funeral, hundreds of people gathered at the state capitol to remember Anissa and call for change, so no more lives are taken too soon. Dressed in red and white, Anissa's favorite colors, the group, filled with many people her age, marched its way down East Washington Avenue to pay their respects to Anissa and her family. And our thoughts are with them this weekend. It's 7:10. A heat streak is headed our way. Erin is tracking rising temperatures, increasing storm chances, and when we finally might get some fall-like weather. Here's a live look outside on this Sunday morning. Erin is tracking that all right after this.
Dear Penny, heads we stay local, tails we hit the road. With a new Toyota, you'll always land a winner. Your friends, Toyota.
Get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota.
Welcome to the Del Bar. One visit and you'll fall in love. A supper club you'll adore. 3 generations and a Wisconsin tradition for over 75 years. We are now open, so take a drive. We would love to have you come and dine with us. The Del Bar, since 1943, Wisconsin Dells.
Let's summer. Let's dine out by truly dining out. Let's serve up the freshest of food with a side of fresh air. And save a little money without sacrificing the savory. Let's raise our tongs to tasty by introducing our grills to new thrills. And make mouths water more than a backyard slip and slide. Let's live a little more by having another s'more. Because summer is here, and no one does summer savings like Festival Foods.
Scranton is a long way from Wall Street. You won't find skyscrapers or big city bankers, just hard-working people. That's where Joe Biden's story starts. It's why he's running for president, for the backbone of this nation, working families. Donald Trump, he's in it for himself and his wealthy friends. In this crisis, we need to help workers and small businesses, and we need a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Great day on the lake.
It is.
Lunch is cooking. And I saved a bunch of money on my boat insurance with Geico.
Are you?
Fellas, can it get any better than this? Whoa. My old hairstyle grew back.
So did mine.
What? I was an 80s kid.
It only gets better when you switch and save with Geico.
Today, some things do stand firm. Those you can lean on, the things that matter, and the importance of you being you. That's why no matter the type of care you need, or the way you need it, we're here every day, safe and ready. Because wherever you are in your world, you're the focus of ours. Safe care your way. Unity Point Health Meriden, a partner of UW Health. Know how much you matter to this world.
Dear Penny, heads we stay local, tails we hit the road. With a new Toyota, you'll always land a winner. Your friends, Toyota.
Get $1,500 customer cash on a new 2020 Highlander or Highlander Hybrid. Toyota.
A reminder that today is your last chance to go to the Goodman Pool before it closes for the season. Masks are required for anyone 5 and up. The pool had a delayed start this year, opening only on July 15th. Now it's closing less than 40 days later. Not the record I expected to set this summer, Erin.
Yeah, no, it definitely has been an interesting summer, but actually a fairly decent one, as we have seen some fairly decent temperatures through the month of August. We started off rather cool, but we're going to finish the month of August off on with some very hot temperatures. Not quite record highs, but still it's going to be well above average going through the work week. Starting off this morning with a beautiful sunrise over Madison. Temperatures will be warming up right on into the 80s, around 80 at noon, and then today's high of 86. Chance for a couple storms later on this afternoon in southern Wisconsin. About 10 to 20% chance of that happening. So most of the area will stay dry, but just keep an eye on the forecast. Keep an eye this afternoon in case we do see a couple storms developing. Across the area this morning, we're generally into the 60s, aside from Janesville at 70. We have 66 in Watertown, 66 in Juneau, 63 in the Dells, and about 63 degrees in Mineral Point. And what's going to be happening this week is there's an upper level ridge that's developed across the western U.S. over the last week or so, and that's brought some record high temperatures. It's brought very dry conditions, and which actually has influenced some of the wildfires out there. Now, this upper level ridge, that's actually going to be tracking to the east, and actually it's going to get pushed to the north because of two tropical storms, which actually will become hurricanes over the course of the next couple of days. Those are moving into the Gulf of Mexico, and that's just kind of pushing everything further to the north. So instead of this ridge moving east, it's kind of moving more northeast, bringing that heat into southern Wisconsin. But talk about the tropics. We have Marco. That is a tropical storm, wind sustained at 70 miles per hour. That is forecast to become a Category 1 hurricane later on today. And right on its heels, another tropical storm. This is Laura. Wind sustained at 45 miles per hour. That's also going to be tracking to the north and west, eventually becoming a hurricane once it makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico, and could potentially become a Category 2 hurricane if it before it makes landfall, possibly in Louisiana going into the middle of the work week. So a lot of activity down in the tropics. If you have friends and family down there, just may want to give them just a heads up in case they aren't aware of what's going on. But across the area for today, we will see temperatures again into the 80s this afternoon. Here's that chance for a couple showers, maybe a storm developing across southern Wisconsin. Like I mentioned, about 10 to 20% chance of that happening. So for today, we will see a high of around 86, southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Look at the extended forecast, shows that heat building in with a lot of sunshine to kick off your work week. 89 on your Monday, and we will see about 92 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday. Just keeping that heat in play for most of the work week, in fact, before a nice little cool down coming in for the weekend. Highs back in the 70s. So just have to get through a few days of some pretty toasty temps.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. I have faith in everyone. Thank you so much, Erin. Bucks fans finally have a little breathing room after Saturday's showing against the Magic. The teams were tied at 1-1 going into the game, but Giannis made it clear why he is known as the Greek Freak. Scoring 35 points, 11 rebounds, Bucks win 121-107, the final score. They now take the 2-1 lead in the series. Game 4 is tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. Tough, tiring, but not totally thankless. The emotional reunion this week between a crash victim and the men and women who helped save his life. We'll tell you about that story right after this.
Connect with News 3 Now on Facebook Messenger.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive, and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
This selenite gray is so pretty, isn't it?
Wow. Jim, could you pop the hood for us?
There she is.
Turbocharge, right?
Yes, it is.
Jim, could you kick the tires?
Oh, yes.
Could you change the color inside the car?
Oh, sure. How about blue?
That's more cyan, but jump in the back seat, Jim. Act like my kids.
How much longer?
Exactly how they sound. It's got massaging seats too, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Visit the Mercedes-Benz summer event or shop online at participating dealers. Get 0% APR financing up to 36 months on select new and certified pre-owned models.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
In a rare weekend session, the House passed Democrat-sponsored legislation that would provide billions of dollars in funding to the Postal Service. Democrats say the bill is necessary to protect the November election.
It was so angering for Americans across the political spectrum that President Trump and Postmaster General DeJoy openly sabotaged the Postal Service in order to prevent people from casting votes through the mail.
The legislation calls for the Postal Service to receive an extra $25 billion worth of funding. House Republicans, though, slammed the bill, which would also reverse recent Postal Service changes amid concerns about mail-in voting.
This bill is a sham. It is a shame.
Is this part of some vast conspiracy? No. It's part of a decades-long realignment process where the post office is trying to match the needs of the consumers to the post office infrastructure.
After receiving a lot of pushback, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announced Saturday he will stop cost-cutting moves until after the election, but he says USPS will not be restoring mailboxes and sorting machines that have already been removed. The legislation is not expected to be taken up in the Republican-controlled Senate, and President Trump has promised to veto the bill if it reaches his desk. We rely on them in emergency situations, from fires and floods to damaging storms and car accidents. The job of a first responder is challenging, sometimes hazardous, but as a group from Milwaukee will tell you, it's not entirely thankless.
It was 11 o'clock on a Thursday night in February when an impaired driver hit a utility worker near State and 6th Streets.
Well, it was one of the most horrific scenes I think any of us have ever responded to.
But this story isn't just about the crash. It's about the courage and the comeback that came out of it.
I'm very thankful that we had the firefighters behind me working that night. These are some of the best firefighters we have on the fire department, and the ones I want coming for me if I was in the same situations.
Battalion Chief Eric Roden was first on scene and quickly realized a man was trapped between two vehicles. 5 months later, that man got a chance to show his gratitude to the 20-plus firefighters and paramedics who got him here.
And the knowledge that they had and the calmness is beyond words of how appreciative I am, because it really was a matter of minutes probably to save my life.
Dan Fernecki's company looks at fiber optic routes and lines, and he was packing up his van, getting ready to leave a job when he was hit.
I never heard or saw, or I had no idea, but a car came from behind and hit me into the back of my van, basically.
He credits his survival to his coworker who called 911 and the first responders who showed up within minutes.
I was conscious for, I would say, almost the whole thing. I could hear them talking and trying to get me to talk, but I was mainly just remembering that I was focusing on my breathing.
Doctors at Frederick Hospital tried to save his legs, but sadly were not able to.
And when I was finally conscious again after all the surgeries, I was just in absolute tears that I was even alive.
On that day, he says all he could think about were his rescuers.
From the moment that I was able to kind of be able to process things and awake and that kind of stuff, I wanted to connect with this EMT group and fire department group and just thank them and meet them.
A bright moment.
Overwhelming for a lot of us.
After months of anticipation.
We've been worried sick about him since February. I mean, we talk about him all the time and that night, and one of the worst calls we've ever had to respond to.
It's been a really, really tough road. I'm not going to sugarcoat that in any way. It's been really hard.
Dan hopes soon all the surgeries will be worth it, as he is eligible for prosthetics.
There's a real good chance that I'll be walking within a year, and I can't believe that.
He's using the firefighters who saved him as a reason to keep fighting.
It amazes me every day when I think about there could have been seconds, there could have been minutes that were lost, that I might not be here talking to you guys today in any way.
But to them, Dan remains a reminder of why they do what they do.
And to have an outcome like this is just makes us very proud of what we do, and proud of Dan and his courage.
I don't think it could have been done any other way that would have got me to where I am today. So it's always a thought in my head and gives me courage and the will to fight and keep working through all the injuries.
The courage and the comeback.
The fact that he's taking everything, as positive as he is, it's an inspiring story for everybody.
Their attitude and their resilience is really inspiring. That was Rose Schmidt reporting, who now works at our affiliate in Milwaukee. Thank you to all first responders there and across the state. A man flying kites here in Madison is helping out other people without even knowing it. A viewer called to tell us about a man who creates large kite displays in Northeast Park. That's actually southwest of Prairie Lake Shopping Mall in Sun Prairie. They say he's bringing people happiness, and they've been stopping to take pictures. That man is Ed Grease. He's retired and flies kites simply for fun. He says the kites also entertain people when they're taking a walk, especially since there's not much to do during the pandemic.
Well, in the winter, I make and sew kites, and during the summer I can fly them. And there's something spiritual about making something that will fly and in an invisible medium. It's the wind and you don't see it, but it's doing all kinds of neat things with the kites that you make.
Now, Ed has been flying kites for 60 years and was surprised to hear people are finally noticing and actually thanking him for what he does. It's amazing what a pandemic will do. It's 7:26 after a week where Wisconsin was at the center of the political world. Our Amy Reed fact checks what was said and the impact those words could have this November. Her reality check is right after this.
Stanton Optical is always here for you with our safe telehealth technology. You can just walk in for an eye exam whenever you need one. Right now, our entire store is buy one, get one free on all frames and lenses. Plus, kids get a free eye exam for back to school. Find your nearest store at StantonOptical.com.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. With over 40 filtration systems, including the world's best softener, no one filters more than Culligan Water. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
When unexpected home projects come along, use the Home Advisor app and instantly book an appointment online with a top-rated pro. Be prepared for whatever home projects come your way. Download the free Home Advisor app today.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
But now Joe Biden's taken a sharp left turn. Buckle up for his $4 trillion tax hike. Biden's plan raises taxes on small business, reversing the recovery. He's pledged to eliminate blue-collar oil and gas jobs. And analysts estimate stocks would crash up to 25% if Biden takes the wheel, crushing your retirement.
This is just bold.
Hit the brakes on Biden. He'll wreck our economy. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When you put money in a big bank, there it goes. But when you keep your money at Associated Bank, it gets invested close to home. It might become this family's renovation or help this little one's college fund. It could build local business or your favorite neighborhood spot. Because when you bank with Associated Bank, your money works in your community. All you have to do is make a simple choice. Send your money there or keep it here. Associated Bank. Your money works here.
Stanton Optical is always here for you with our safe telehealth technology. You can just walk in for an eye exam whenever you need one. Right now, our entire store is buy one, get one free on all frames and lenses. Plus, kids get a free eye exam for back to school. Find your nearest store at StantonOptical.com.
No matter what the color of your skin is, we all have to be part of this.
It is a time that we hear people out who are offering up solutions that can lead to change.
We are spending a lot of time right now listening so we can better do our job, so we can better amplify your voices, tell your stories, and hopefully build a better tomorrow, a better city for all of us.
2020 may not just be the year that everything was canceled. It may end up being the most important year yet.
This is News 3 Now This Morning.
Welcome back, everyone, on this Sunday morning, August 23rd. I'm Christina Laurie. We're following developing news this morning. Overnight, we learned that a Dane County Sheriff's deputy has died from complications of COVID-19. Sheriff Dave Mahoney says Deputy Rick Treadwell contracted the virus while on duty. That is being considered the first COVID-19 law enforcement line of duty death in the state. Funeral arrangements with law enforcement honors are pending. In a statement, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi mourned Treadwell's loss, saying, quote, his life was taken too soon by this terrible virus. Deputy Treadwell is one of 7 Wisconsinites to die of the virus this weekend as the total death count approaches 1,100. We've now passed the 70,000 case mark in the state, adding 800 more this weekend. About 13% of those are still active. The positivity rate is up too. It's now at 10.9%, an increase of more than 3 since Friday. The 7-day average also continues to trend upward, now above 8%. Scientists around the world are racing to finish testing coronavirus vaccines, and we have an inside look at one now entering the final phase of development. In late July, Dr. Victoria Smith became one of the first 30,000 participants needed for Pfizer's phase 3 vaccine trial. She received her first dose at a Louisiana hospital. It's a double-blinded study, meaning neither she nor the researchers know whether she received the vaccine or a placebo drug. CBS News got an exclusive look at a phase 3 trial site. Every week, Pfizer sends them packages of the vaccine and of the placebo. In order to be approved by the FDA, a COVID vaccine must prevent or decrease the severity of the disease in at least 50% of vaccinated people.
There's no evidence that the vaccine makes the disease worse at all. So that's really, really very encouraging.
Dr. Edwards is on Pfizer's vaccine safety board. Once a week, the 5-member committee meets virtually to carefully look through data for adverse effects, especially serious ones like hospitalizations. Dr. Edwards says that so far, there is no evidence the vaccine can cause serious reactions, but that mild reactions are common and should not stop anyone from getting vaccinated. And some good news this week in the local fight against the virus. Unity Point Health Meritor announced that Donald Keller of Baraboo went home this week. He's the 150th patient discharged from that hospital after successfully battling and beating the virus. Meritor admitted its first patient on March 16th and has had at least one COVID-19 patient in its hospital every day since. Doctors there say the best thing we can do to help them out is to follow public health guidelines like social distancing, wearing masks, and of course, washing your hands. You'll want to get a lot more water on you than just hand washing today. You might want to head to the pool, Erin.
Yeah, certainly the pool, the lake, whatever you got to do to stay cool as we go into the work week, especially as we're going to see some pretty hot temperatures to kick off your Monday. Today, though, it is still going to be on the warm side. We're starting off with a nice sunrise over Madison with just a few clouds out there. Temperatures are warming up into the lower 70s, and we will continue that warm up right onto a high of around 86 for today. Now, there will be a mix of clouds and sunshine throughout the day, so not a bad Sunday. The only thing to watch out for later on this afternoon into the evening hours is the chance for a couple showers or storms. Not everyone is going to see rain, and I'm only calling for about maybe a 10 to 20% chance of that happening. And if you are heading out to the lakes today, again, keep that storm chance in mind, but most of the beaches are open. Water temperature about 77 degrees, and today's high of around 86. Southwest wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But as we go into the work week, we're going to see that heat building in it, and that's all associated with an upper level ridge that's brought very dry conditions, helping to influence the fires across California into Nevada, parts of Utah and Arizona. All these fires are actually producing a lot of smoke that's actually getting picked up by the upper level winds, and that's actually going to be transported into the upper Midwest. Already happening, you can see that on satellite this morning, and that may actually impact parts of Wisconsin. We're not going to really see that at ground level, so you're likely not going to smell the smoke, but it will actually make for some hazy sunrises and sunsets going through the next couple of days. But again, all that is associated with that upper level ridge that's developed, and that's going to bring those very hot temperatures into our forecast. And I'll have a look at that extended forecast coming up in just a bit.
It's really amazing how far that can travel. Thank you so much, Erin. We're heading into another busy political week. Joe Biden's campaign is posting strong fundraising and viewership numbers after the convention. The campaign says it raised $70 million during the 4-day DNC. Officials also say more than 122 million people watched the convention. Between the convention and a visit from both the president and vice president, the state of Wisconsin was the political capital of the country this week. Both sides are trying to win your vote, but Amy Reed separates the truth in this News 3 Now reality check.
Politicians made a lot of claims this week, so let's get right into it.
5 million Americans infected by COVID-19. More than 170,000 Americans have died. By far the worst performance of any nation on earth.
Joe Biden is misleading here. The U.S. does lead the world in number of cases and number of deaths, but compared against population, the U.S. is 12th in deaths per 100 confirmed cases and 5th in deaths per capita. But that data also makes this claim from Trump false.
But we're doing great coming back. We're coming back and our numbers are better than almost all countries.
And?
Swine flu, though. Look at his ratings in Gallup. Check them out. They gave them really bad ratings.
That one is also false. For one, Biden didn't head up the H1N1 response. Two, Gallup actually found in May of 2009, 74% of Americans were confident the federal government could handle the outbreak. That fell to 60% in August 2009.
And getting rid of the protections that President Obama worked so hard to get passed for people who have 100 million more people who have pre-existing conditions.
This is true. In June, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to strike down the Affordable Care Act, which is what protects coverage for pre-existing conditions.
And we can pay for these investments by ending loopholes, unnecessary loopholes, and the president's $1.3 trillion tax giveaway to the wealthiest 1% and the biggest, most profitable corporations, some of which do not pay any tax at all.
This is true. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 actually gave $1.5 trillion to corporations in the form of tax cuts. And a report from left-leaning Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy, which analyzed Security and Exchange Commission's data, found 60 Fortune 500 companies paid no federal taxes. And Fox Business found before this year, Amazon hadn't paid federal taxes in 3 years.
He's proposing to eliminate a tax that pays for almost half the Social Security.
This is true. It's part of the executive order he signed when Congress couldn't agree on more relief.
Trump has lost 250,000 manufacturing jobs.
This is misleading. To date, the country has lost about 272,000 manufacturing jobs. But before the pandemic, the country had gained 460,000 since Trump took office. And looking at Wisconsin, this one from Trump before the pandemic is true.
We created 15,000 Wisconsin manufacturing jobs. Everybody said that would be impossible.
We've added more jobs back to this economy in 3 months than Joe Biden and Barack Obama added to our economy in 8 years.
This one is misleading for part. That job increase mostly accounts for people coming back to work after a COVID layoff, but the rest is false. This is still fewer than the 11 million jobs added over the Obama administration.
Joe Biden would raise taxes by $4 trillion.
This one is mostly true. Biden's tax plan shows an increase of almost $4 trillion, the majority targeting high earners and corporations. But this analysis found most other groups would see increases of 0.2 to 0.6%.
And his new running mate was one of only 10 senators to vote against the USMCA.
This one is true. For her reasoning and to see the sources for all of these claims, head to our website, channel3000.com. For this News 3 Now reality check, I'm Amy Reed.
Thank you to Amy for that. And a reminder, Amy will have continuing coverage all week long of the RNC. A heads up for bikers, starting tomorrow, you might have to find a new route. The Capital City Trail will close between Nob Hill Road and Southtown Drive for sewer replacement. You can see the impacted area highlighted there in red. The closure is expected to last for 6 weeks until the end of September. In the meantime, signs will take bikers along a detour route. And changes are also ahead for bus riders. Starting tomorrow, Madison Metro is increasing service. The city's website says it's adding more more buses to better serve low-income riders and people of color. Metro is also increasing downtown service as more students return to campus. The city of Madison says due to budget constraints and staffing, Metro still isn't able to return to the same level of service it provided in the past. But you can find a full map and schedule of all Metro routes on the city's website, cityofmadison.com. A reminder, all riders are required to wear masks. It's 7:39. Two popular breakfast items are getting new looks this year. The latest ways to enjoy toast and French toast in this weekend's installment of Food News. And several local movie theaters are getting ready to reopen this week. How they plan to do that safely in trending news right after this.
Bad sleep.
Oh, the worst.
You know, there's really no excuse for bad sleep. During the Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress.
Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or to celebrate our newest arrival, come in and test out the outrageously comfortable Casper mattress. Check out the Summit Queen, only $189.99. Plus 5 years no interest and free shipping.
The Labor Day sale, on now at Denver Mattress.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Pick and Save app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sales and rewards like fuel points, all for prices that are lower than the everyday low. So go ahead, get lower than low. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
I'm here.
Auntie's here.
Hey, Mom and Dad here.
Shall we begin?
Together, nothing can keep us apart. That's why U.S. Cellular is building powerful 5G coverage that works inside and out. Switch to the network ranked #1 in network quality by J.D. Power. U.S. Cellular. Upgrade to fair.
The coronavirus has forced the government to take extensive actions, making this the most opportunistic time for you to finally restructure or even resolve your tax debt with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled tax returns, and are experiencing hardships because of the impact of COVID-19, you could qualify for more aggressive resolution plans with the IRS. National Tax Experts has specialists ready to help you determine your eligibility for these programs. Act now before it's too late.
Call 1-800-392-6331.
Today, you can turn your home into a university, and you can turn a lasting career into reality. With Herzing University, you can earn a degree in today's hottest fields, anytime, online. Herzing is recognized, accredited, experienced, and transfer-friendly, with more than 90% student satisfaction. For a limited time, we'll waive your enrollment fee. See what your career can turn into with Herzing University.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Call or click today.
Wisconsin weather can be frustrating. Get the latest forecast, alerts, and detailed traffic reports from the News 3 Now team. Download the Channel 3000 Firstborn app, sponsored by Group Health Cooperative, and be prepared for anything headed our way. Wisconsin's rural schools have been facing a different set of tough decisions this year. We'll find out how one small district is preparing for the challenges of reopening their doors and bringing students back to school.
We can get everyone back here that wants to be here.
Monday on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back. Trending this morning, if you've ever eaten an entire box of Thin Mints for dessert, no judgment here, but the Girl Scouts may have just what you need for breakfast now, too. The Scouts announced this week troops will start selling a new cookie flavor called Toastier. It's a French toast-inspired cookie dipped in icing and ready for your breakfast table. This year, Girl Scouts will continue to sell cookies online, but you still have to wait. Toastier won't be available until cookie season officially kicks off in January. If you ever need even more breakfast in your life, you might want to check the spice aisle the next time you head to the store. Cinnadust now comes in bottle form, blending together cinnamon, vanilla, sugar, and graham cracker into a powder. You can try it on ice cream, yogurt, or fruit if you're trying to be healthy. Cinnadust will be available first at Sam's Club starting September 1st. You can even try it on your popcorn, which brings us to the news that several local theater chains are getting ready to reopen this week for the first time since March. Marcus Theaters in Madison and Sun Prairie will reopen this Friday, and Hilldale's AMC Theater will open the following week. But wherever and whenever you go, you'll notice a lot of changes. Michael George shows us the new safety measures chains across the country have now put in place.
We are getting ready to head in and go see Beauty and the Beast.
After more than 5 months, the Fair family is finally back at the movies.
I miss the slushies. I miss just being there with my family and the seats and just watching the new things. I miss the food.
This theater in Danbury, Connecticut is one of 100 AMC outlets that's open again. Regal and Cinemark are also resuming business across the country. Several states, including New York and California, have decided to keep theaters closed for now, but the reopening of this one in Virginia is a welcome sight for moviegoers.
On a scale from 1 to 10, my excitement is on a 10 right now.
Movie fans are getting all the usual sights and sounds of the big screen, but other things look different. Theaters are limiting capacity. AMC is only allowing 30% of seats to be filled. Masks are required, as shown in this safety video by Regal Theaters.
Guests can only remove their masks inside the auditorium while eating and drinking.
Theaters will be disinfected often, and customers are encouraged to buy their popcorn, candy, and drinks using their phones.
I like to support the businesses that have been closed because I've been fortunate enough to be able to work through this. So there's a lot of people that haven't.
But some movie fans, like healthcare worker Lucy Gruget, say even with the new precautions, she's just not ready to return.
I just don't want to be inside, even with not too many people and distance at this point, unless it's something I really need to do.
Theater chains are hoping their new measures will convince others to come back. The industry is desperate for a box office boost after losing billions during the shutdown.
You can find opening dates, safety plans, and movie times for every local theater chain in our area on their respective websites. And whether you head to theaters or just to your home, you'll want to spend some time indoors later this week as temperatures soar into the 90s. You're looking live over the Capitals. Erin is back with a look ahead at our work week forecast right after this.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back MyPillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows, and nothing's worked like MyPillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive and it's nice and small.
The MyPillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the MyPillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
MyPillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get body pillows regular $89.99, now only $29.99, or MyPillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Dear Summer, how do I make the most of you? Do I kick back and relax? Or climb new mountains? I could go and get dirty. Or switch into new lanes. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Toyota.
Right now, you can get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome back on this Sunday morning. It's a beautiful start to the day. As we look over Madison right now, we have a fair amount of sunshine, just some clouds out there, calling about a partly cloudy sky, and that's going to be the story as we go through today. Partly to maybe mostly cloudy for a couple hours around noontime as we see some clouds coming in from Illinois, but overall, it should be a fairly nice day. The only thing to keep in mind is there is the chance we could see a stray shower or storm this afternoon and evening right around 5 o'clock. Very minimal chance, maybe about 10 to 20% chance of that happening. So most of the area will stay dry. Today's high right around 86. Across the area this morning, we're generally into the 60s to lower 70s, 72 in Janesville, that's the warm spot, 67 in Madison, 66 in Lindell, 63 in Camp Douglas, and about 64 in Boscobel. And if you are heading out to area lakes today, it looks actually fairly decent. Water temperature is about 77 degrees, and most of the beaches are open. Today's high, again, right around 86. The only thing to keep in mind is that chance for a shower or storm. If it does happen, it's only going to last maybe 5 to 10 minutes or so. So most of the day will be dry. Now, what's happening across the west is we have an upper level ridge that's developed over the course of the last week. Brought some very hot temperatures, very dry conditions influencing the wildfires out there. That upper level ridge is going to start to build into the east and actually is going to be pushed to the north because of the tropical systems that are developing and moving into the Gulf of Mexico. So that's just kind of shifting the whole pattern a little bit further north, and that's going to bring in those hot temperatures into our area for much of the work week. And here is a look at that tropical storm Marco. That's already in the Gulf of Mexico. That has wind sustained at 70 miles per hour, going to become a Category 1 hurricane later on today. We also have Laura, that's moving to the north and west, likely to become a hurricane once it makes its way into the Gulf of Mexico. While that's happening down there, we do have a storm chance that we have to watch out for going into Monday night. Monday will be dry. This is going to be mainly after about 8 o'clock during the day on Monday and into Monday night. So here's how it plays out on Future Track. We will see some clouds coming in for the afternoon, mix of clouds and sunshine. There's that chance for a stray shower or storm, but otherwise it's just going to be a hot forecast as we look at today. 86 for the high. We will see those 90s returning as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. 92 on both of those days. There is that another storm chance as we go towards Friday, but a little bit cooler as we head into next weekend. So a lot of stuff going on across the country for sure, but we just have to deal with some hot temps.
Yeah, living in California always sounds nice until you hear about the earthquakes and the fires.
Yeah, I mean, they have some extreme weather. We have extreme weather here, just nothing like, you know, just different across different parts of the country.
I guess they don't have tornadoes, so
yeah, which is good.
Everyone's got something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin. Be sure to make News 3 part of your weekly routine by downloading the Channel 3000 app for the latest headlines in news and weather sent directly to your phone. But first, a young girl in Madison could soon have her art seen by millions. Her story next.
What happens now? Now that the rent's due, but they've cut your pay. Now that the virus has cost lives, but your health care costs too much. Now that our president has had months, but he still doesn't have a plan. What happens now? Joe Biden knows how to lead through a crisis because he's done it before. When our economy was on the verge of collapse, Joe Biden led the largest economic stimulus in a generation and saved millions of jobs. Now Joe Biden is ready to lead us through this crisis. He knows rebuilding our economy starts with fighting the virus, increasing testing, getting more protective gear for healthcare workers, and calling for mask mandates nationwide. As president, he'll get working families back on their feet by lowering healthcare costs and helping small businesses recover. So what happens now? We elect a president who will build back better.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
This selenite gray is so pretty, isn't it?
Wow. Jim, could you pop the hood for us?
There she is.
Turbocharge, right?
Yes, it is.
Jim, could you kick the tires?
Oh, yes.
Could you change the color inside the car?
Oh, sure. How about blue?
That's more cyan, but jump in the back seat, Jim. Act like my kids.
How much longer?
Exactly how they sound. It's got massaging seats too, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Visit the Mercedes-Benz summer event or shop online at participating dealers. Get 0% APR financing up to 36 months on select new and certified pre-owned models.
Trust us to get it right. These storms are capable of producing some heavy rain and maybe some hail.
To keep you prepared
when severe weather is on the way.
We have an alert day in the forecast for this evening for strong to possibly severe thunderstorms, hail, high winds, perhaps even an isolated tornado can't be ruled out.
And your family's safety is on the line. You need to seek shelter immediately.
Our team and technology are ready to help you stay safe.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team on News 3 Now.
Finally this morning, a Madison middle schooler could soon have her art seen by millions. Talil Moladin shares how a young artist's design is getting the attention of the world's most popular search engine.
She's drawing and doing art constantly, and no one's telling her to do it, and she keeps getting better and better.
When mom Sabrina Carl realized how talented her daughter was, she suggested she enter an art competition.
You know, I didn't have to talk her into it. She thought it sounded cool and fun and, you know, low risk. Anybody can enter.
Low risk, but in Ocean's case, it also turns out high reward.
My mom read the email and she told us, and it was really exciting, but kind of felt unreal. I don't know, I just really didn't expect to win. I just kind of mainly did it for fun.
Beating out thousands, the young artist earned her place as the Wisconsin winner in the Doodle for Google art competition.
The prompt was I show kindness by.
For Ocean, that means her love of animals.
I have a pet snake and we have cats and stuff.
The 13-year-old, a practicing vegetarian, takes her love pretty seriously.
She never wavers. I told her you could eat meat a couple times a year just for special meals. She's like, nope, I'm sticking to it.
Kind of just always seemed kind of weird to me that we would eat them.
Given her commitment, it made sense that Ocean's design would help bring attention to this cause.
I focused on drawing the 3 most commonly used for me animals in this country, and I tried to bring a more happy and positive outlook on their relationship with humans.
In Madison, Talil Muhaddin, News 3 Now.
We're lucky to have people like Ocean here in our community. She's certainly so talented. Were you good at art?
Not really. Okay. I mean, I did ceramics one year, but that's the best I could do.
Yeah, I was one time in an art fair, but I'm pretty sure looking back at it that everyone was in the art fair. I thought I was special. I don't know. We'll see.
Still fun, right?
Yeah.
Something different.
Also fun. This weather.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. We have some sunshine for today, high around 86 degrees. Now for tomorrow, we are tracking the chance for some storms coming in. This is going to be mainly overnight Monday night. So Monday will be dry, and it's going to really heat up as we go into next week. Highs in the 90s.
Wow. So grab your sunscreen and your mask too, and have a great week, everyone.